One time, 50.
BMF stars. I got the lovely Sydney Mitchell. She plays Rwanda.
Hey y'all, I feel great. I'm excited. I'm a little nervous, I don't know why, but you know, right. But I'm excited. I'm so happy to be here. So I play Rwanda, who is Terry Flenory's mother of his child / girlfriend. She's like your typical ride or die.
Stay down.
But she also wants to get out of the game, so she kind of is on both sides.
Glad to have you. Wonderful to have you here. We live from the BMF Stars premiere, the one and only Sydney Mitchell.
Shout out to BLACKTREE on TV. This is Sydney Mitchell.
Let me start with you, Steve, because I was trying to remember, like, have you and Wood acted together? I'm used to seeing you guys on separate projects and just knowing your amazing work, but is this the first time y'all acted on the same project? Or am I...
No, this is actually the second time. We did a show used to be on called Justified, and we were on that as brothers on that one. On this one, though, it's first time we played in something where we're not, on the same side, as it were. So I'm sure that'll lead to some sparks for sure.
Kash Doll, how did this feel? I mean, I know everybody, know you from a different realm, but you took on a character, delivered, wasn't playing yourself. Like, how was that process of becoming this character in BMF?
How was the process? Well, it was interesting. It was interesting. It made me do a lot of more research to try to find out about the 80s, to get a little bit more familiar with a time that, I don't know about. So it made me do my research and really learn, when it made me respect actors and actresses on a whole nother level. It made me realize that, they really put themselves in people's shoes and bring out their own artistry and try to give them, the best character there is. So I felt like it was interesting. I learned a lot. It was a very, 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 very good learning experience. And I'm looking to do more.
Do you think it's going to affect your artistry? Like, now that you've been able to wear this different hat and act and do stuff like that, do you think your artistry will be any different?
No. If anything, it'll sharpen it up a little bit. Keep me on my toes a little bit.
Nobody gave nobody shit in this country, T. They didn't give us our freedom or the right to vote. We had to fight for that shit. It's the same way as us fighting for our independence in this game, man.
So what you saying?
We're gonna be kings, T. Kings of the mother D.
Steve, it seems like when we tell stories of whether it's like Goodfellas or Scarface or something else, they're able to like kind of glorify criminals in their lives, but when they're Black, there's some sort of stigma, as if these people chasing the American dream and bending the rules is different.
Right.
Do you think that that's changing now? I mean, now that we have all these rich stories coming out on these streaming platforms and these series that are delving into it, do you think it's different than just when there's Boys in the Hood versus a Goodfellas or whatever?
Well, first off, we shouldn't care, right? We should tell our story, and then you walk away with what you want to walk away with, right? I'm not giving Goodfellas no more love over Boys in the Hood or Cooley High, for that matter, or any of that kind of, menace to society. New Jack City. These are stories, right? And we should tell them. And now we get the opportunity to tell this one. And I think us spending all this damn time on making people feel like we should reply to this is foolishness. We shouldn't have to reply to a damn thing, to me personally. Now, you may have asked this question the best way it's been asked to me today, to be perfectly honest, because I think that I have already spent too much breath talking about it, because it's, as you pointed out, it's only color of skin that changes your feeling towards it. And whether you're Black and saying, don't portray us that way, or you're white and put it off into some other box or whatever box you put it into, it has no bearing. That's the only thing that's making it different. And honestly, I don't care. I'll be honest with you. I think we the greatest things on the planet. So I don't really care about that. You come around when you come around. That's how I view it.
You played a lot of iconic roles, but now in this age of internet memes and everything else, like Diary of a
I'm the meme master, bro. I didn't even know it. People are sending me things, and it's hilarious to me because even if I had done what this guy did, we did it back in 2004. Like it's 220. Like I'd be out. I'd have served my bid. I'd have did my time. I'd be free now. You know what I mean? But every now and again, somebody will send me a meme with 4 different pictures, and you got me. And I think though, you know, all jokes aside, it's funny to me, but it is respectful of what you thought of that character and how I pulled it off, right? So I still have, including the young lady right next to me over here, who when they first met me, go like, this dude. You know, people just go, this dude first. And then they ease up on me, they realize what's going on. But, you know, Black women go, this dude. And then it's cool, you know what I mean? So it's oddly enough, it's what I get for pulling off what I was trying to do, you know, because in that particular film, it's called Diary of a Mad Black Woman, but you got to give her a reason to write the diary. And if I'm being perfectly honest, if they would have kept everything that I did in that movie, I'd have another 20 years for sure. Because that's just what it was. You know, we were trying to make that, and it was her story about her growing and becoming something, but she had to go through that in order to grow and become something. And I had to go through what I went through to deal with the life that I had to now live. You know what I mean? So yeah, I look at it, you know, I joke about it now, you know, because I swear to you, every week somebody will send me a meme. Hey, did you see this one? Yeah, fool. Of course I saw that one. I saw it last week, you know. But it's still a testament to the character that was pulled off, to be perfectly honest.
Well, great job on this, man. I appreciate both of y'all's time, and I love the series so far. I can't wait to see how the rest of the story unfolds.
Okay, appreciate you, Jamal, man.
Thank you.
I'm the king of rock.
Man, we got a product that creates its own demand. As long as we got my vision and your brains,
I won't stop rocking till I retire.
can't nobody mess with us, man.
Hello, DaVinci and Randy and Lil Meech. I started talking to you guys yesterday vocally on the other panel, and I wanted to continue first with Lil Meech. I know that there was the word that Big Meech's sentence was reduced and everything else, but I want to know from you, because I'm sure you've had conversations, what's his feelings about the show as it's unfolding and it's been released, and that there's now a trailer and people are really hearing about it? Like, what's been his reaction from, you know, just this whole story being told?
Well, I feel like now that I've talked to him, his whole spirits are different. Like he's happy every phone conversation now. You know, as to where before I could hear the emotions, you know, in his voice. He called me every day. Now it's just happiness. He's just proud. He was so detrimental into this whole journey with me and with Randy and with DaVinci, just giving us all notes and giving us all pointers and how he wanted the story to be told. And we told it as the best we could and really killed it. And Randy really put the words to exactly how it's supposed to be. Me and DaVinci and the rest of the cast really delivered. So my dad is proud. He's so proud. He hasn't seen nothing yet. But he, just from what we tell him, he's proud. Because this is all he wanted, you know, for his story to be told the right way, so people could really know the Flenory family. Everybody did an amazing job with this, you know, everybody.
We got in these streets. Man, I made my decision, man. You didn't even talk to me about it. Nor did you say anything before moving out here, because if you had, guess what? I would have told you what a dumbass idea this was without a marketing scheme. Nigga, we slinging crack. We ain't selling no fucking beer ass. Whatever. What if Kato's right?
Yeah. Randy, how was that first meeting when you went over and spoke to Big Meech and y'all started going over the story and you started doing the interviews? Like, how was that first meeting, and Yeah, just start with that.
Yeah, it was very easy. You know what I mean? In the sense that we both were Detroiters. You know what I mean? It was easy in the sense that we're in the same age bracket. So when he said something like Saint Cecilia at the basketball games, I'm like, I was there. I wanted to be a basketball player. You know what I mean? He was looking up to the D boys. You know what I mean? But I was able to connect with him through that. And then I think the biggest thing you have to earn, trust is not given, it's earned. You know what I mean? And I think, through all the work that Lil Meech just talked about, I mean, this has been a long time coming. I mean, we're talking about me talking to Meech, me pitching the project, me selling the project, us shooting the project during a pandemic, the project getting delivered, and now it's out for the public to see in next month for the world to take. I mean, I don't think there's anything else he could feel but just like proud because his son is playing him, which is what he wanted all along. And he was like, there is no one that can play me except him. So yeah, he has to be, over the moon.
They didn't give us our freedom or the right to vote. Nigga, we had to fight for that shit. It's the same way as us fighting for our independence in this fucking game, man. So what you saying? Fuck being bosses. We gonna be kings, T. Kings of the motherfucking deep, man.
DaVinci, like I know as actors, people take on characters and a lot of times fictitious characters, but with Southwest T and Meech and a lot of these characters still being around, how was your process of trying to deliver that character and bring it to life?
Yeah, I did my homework like everyone else. Like I've researched as much as I possibly could online. Like you would have probably thought I was the feds. Like I'm trying to like snoop through everything and find as much information as possible. But having the son play his father was so pivotal because I could just talk straight to Meech, Lil Meech, and then he's giving me the pointers, everything I need, and then he put me on the phone with his pops a few times. And then, I got to meet his family. They brought me in. They took me in, received me so well. It was amazing. Like I had that environment that really just helped me to develop and turn into this character. And also, I grew up in very similar circumstances from Demetrius and Terry. So it wasn't something that was like, I'm not just acting. I'm like just pulling. I'm just my child. You know what I'm saying? So. It's like, and because I could just relate and draw from that, and I had the external factors too. It just made everything just great.
Demetrius, like, I know there had to be some hesitancy also. I mean, we're talking about an enterprise that got a lot of people had to go do some time and everything else that were affiliated with. Was your pops like ever like really hesitant about just telling some of the story, just exposing some stuff that might not need to be said?
No, he wasn't hesitant on exposing anything. Him and Randy talked about everything that needed to be told, and Randy delivered. So with a great storyteller like my dad and a great writer like Randy, they made a perfect project. And me and DaVinci and the rest of the cast, all we had to do was deliver the words and the emotion. And we got it.
Sure, that's very interesting. That's a great comment, Meech. Because I was just thinking about what you were saying, and I was like, what's really interesting is I was delivered the story. You know what I mean? But then it's like, this is not a documentary. This is a drama. You know what I mean? So then I have to make an art out of this and make characters, pop and have themes. You know what I mean? So no matter how the story was told, I had to write it how I seen it. No matter how much his father tells him how he was, Demetrius has to play that character, you being himself. And DaVinci has to be himself within Terry Flenory. So I think that is like a fascinating thing that I'm not sure a lot of people, take into account. And I think it's it's complicated because in life, you may not know why you did something, but when you're an actor, you need to understand, or a writer, you need to understand my motivation or my emotion You know what I mean? And that's when we get to add our creative process into it. And it was great watching these two dudes, you know, do that, you know, throughout the season.
Man, I love the show. I've been able to see the first 7 episodes. Love the gear, the gazelles, everything else. You know, you got. I'm not from Detroit, but you know how y'all wear it anyway and everything. I think y'all did a great job, man. I can't wait till the world gets to see the rest. I can't wait to see episode 8 and season 2. You know, and all that stuff.
Thank you, Jamal.
You guys put out a great job, and Meech, I'm telling you, man, you got both of you. Y'all got a big career in acting, man. But you really delivered for a first time job. I was really impressed. I couldn't see no rookie in your acting, so great job.
No question. Thank you so much for saying that, Jamal.
Here with the lovely Kandi Burress, Kash Doll. Hey, I love your old lady. Thank you. Your old lady gave me here so hard. And salute to you for being here. Thanks for being here. What has it been to you to be here for BMF?
Well, I'm glad their story is being told. I can't wait to see it. I'm excited for it. You know, at the end of the day, I'm also one of the leads in the Broadway show that I'm producing. He's also in the film DaVinci.
Okay, so you represent fam.
Yeah, so I got to be here to support, you know, so I'm excited for the whole project. Since I found out it was coming out, I was excited just because, you know, I grew up here and, you know, I was here, I seen it.
Yes, ma'am.
So you a policeman now? Because them men need weapons to do their job. What kind of job you got you need a gun?
It's not like that.
Then what's it like, Demetrius?
A mother's love can only go so far.
Hi, Michole. Hi, Russell.
Oh, what's up, bro?
Russell, it's funny. Like I was just talking about before I even knew that you was in the series. I had a friend in town. I was telling him this story about 12 years ago when I interviewed you on like a season finale of Lincoln Heights. There was an earthquake scene, and it was a real earthquake that happened. You remember that?
I do remember that. Yep. I sure do.
That was my first LA earthquake. I was telling him about. I was like, "Yo, next time I talk to Russell, I'm gonna mention."
Yeah.
But great to see you guys play these characters. And great to put like the family story around this drama that's dealing with crime. Like I know they talked about a little yesterday. You being from Oakland and you being from Chicago. We always grew up with some type of kingpin, right? I mean, did you know about the kingpins in the street, Michole, where you grew up? And Russell, I know you spoke about that yesterday for yours.
For me, I can't lie. No, I didn't. I didn't. So, but Russell can speak more on that one.
Nah, man, listen, I didn't see none. I heard all about them. You know what I mean? Like, you heard family members talking about so-and-so and family members talking about where the spot was when I was young. And then as I got older, going through high school and whatnot, family, you know, friends talking about, where they live, this is what's going down, it's the hot spot, all that kind of stuff like that. But again, you know, I think for myself and Michole, like we're sponges, you know what I mean? So like where we take in all these experiences and just absorb them, you know? So it's like, you know, I didn't have to do it or experience to know how to draw from it, you know what I mean? And, you know, it's like, you know, growing up, like just all these different kind of cats you ran into back in the day. It was like, I remember when I was going to like, when I was in the rec center, like I was like 7, 8 through like 12. And like the cats, like who were like your counselors, these cats used to smoking cigarettes and then going and, you know, smoking weed and coming back. Like they up here teaching you football and kickball. You know what I mean? It was like all kind of different dynamics that happened back in the day that was just regular. And then now you look back and you remember people used to show up at the park and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And then you hear stories about what was going on back then. You just kind of draw from that a little bit.
Michole, I know that both of you guys have done a lot of great work. I mean, you with Courage Under Fire and She Hate Me and all type of great projects you worked on. I want to know how you feel about the industry now with these streaming services and these series that now feel more like extended movies. I mean, has the kind of content that the kind of stories we could tell, like how has that changed over the length of your career? I mean, it seems like these are new opportunities.
Oh yeah, I think you know, back in the 80s, you know, film and television totally different. And now, you know, the streaming services have opened up so much opportunity and opportunity to be so much more creative and have so much more depth. It's just great that we get to work on this show with multi-dimensional characters that just show all these beautiful sides of Black life. And, you know, it was different, you know, family was just different in the 80s. You didn't get to see the light and the dark. It was like everything had to be more sugar coated back then. And so it's nice to really express different levels of the truth.
And Russell, do you approach a character differently when you're doing research now? When, I mean, if you're telling something over a 2-hour feature, then when you're expanding it for kind of like a 10-hour drama, like do you approach the research to a character any different as an actor?
Absolutely. And, you know, and to just echo Michole's sentiment, man, like, listen, we have a different opportunity as actors. Like, I feel like the work and the craft is appreciated at a different level now than it was when we first got in the business. I feel like, and I can insist from, we've always had the ability, but never the opportunity. You know, me and Michole come from theater. We've worked with August Wilson. I've worked with Lynn Noddet, like all these different playwrights. And when you're talking about plays and playwriting, you get to see a three-dimensionality of roles and characters. We walked in to this business ready to do that, but the business wasn't ready for our talent and our ability. And I think now us and our peers are getting an opportunity to show the full depth and breadth of their talent and their ability on display. And so as a byproduct, we're able to tell better stories, and we're able to tell them in our voice. We're able to tell them our way, in a way that we, as Black folks, we look, step back, and we go, that looks familiar to me. That's honoring me. That's speaking to me. And I think it's, and so we now, as you said, we can show the light and the dark. We can show the positive and the negative. We can show the dichotomy of who we are, and really tell an honest and give an honest portrayal of what that is. And so in that, I have to approach it with nothing but a truthful sense of who these people are, and pulling it from real Black life. And so, but that wasn't the case when I first got into business. You know what I mean? So we're talking about the last 7 to 10, where brothers and sisters can really dig deep and show you something, and where you step back and you go, now that's something I can feel.
Well, I felt that on the screen as you playing the parents of Meech and T. I felt like y'all showing the both dimensions, and I appreciate y'all craft and all the work that y'all put in y'all career. Can't wait to see all the other work that y'all got coming. So keep on doing your thing. We'll keep on watching. And,
appreciate it.
I'm glad we had this interview without a little earthquake, Russell. I mean, I know that was 12 years ago. That one up.
The good Lord thanks you for that benevolent offering, brother.
You know who the dog is? I'm sitting here with my aunt, the OG himself. Hey man, it's beautiful. What does it mean for you to be in this film?
BMF for friends of mine, so to be able to be a character like a preacher is dope for me, because I get a chance to show that they really had love and care in their hearts. They just wasn't bad guys. They was raised the right way. And the values that their mother and father instilled in them. So I'm loving that part of it.
Love right there. That's love right there. Hey man, I ain't got nothing else to say. I'm glad you're here, man. Thank you.
Smell it. Let me in.
Yesterday, I was able to listen in on one panel, and it was interesting to hear this theme about how our stories are portrayed when they're dealing with crime and people going after the American dream and bending the rules. And then when you think about stories like Goodfellas or Scarface or whatever else, and how they're portrayed, how do you feel about the way that our stories, you know, whether we're doing illegal or not, are portrayed in the media when you compare them to similar stories of people from another race?
I think it's the same. I don't think there's anything different. I think that the beauty in the American dream is that any individual from anywhere, any place, can can succeed and manifest their dreams. I don't really see the difference. I'll be ashamed if there is like a stigma towards this. Essentially, this is all about a family, and how these boys want to make a change, make a difference in their lives within their given circumstances.
And how about you, Adrian?
Well, I think right now there's just like a sense of conscious awareness in our generation right now, just in the culture. And, people they're kind of tired of certain stories. So, I think this story is just so dope because it's real, it's authentic, it's truthful to, real life situations. And not only that, but, being with stars, they have majority of, Black writers and women, and they have more diversity that's going on in their system. So I'm just more so excited just to see like stories being told in a different way, because you're a man or woman, just based off of your background, one story can be told, 20 ways. And so I think it's just so dope to have diversity and just to have a different sense of openness when we're creating our stories and telling them, because it also just gives the audience a chance to, take things in a way that probably has never been taken in before.
Yeah, I believe that the main difference between those American dreams is what is the motive? What's the real motive behind why they aspire these dreams, the environments that they're placed in, the schooling you give. I can go in, etc. So there's a reason why they have the so-called American dream. That's why it's different. That's because what they're given, you know what I'm saying? So I just hope people will just be moved by the story to create, a sense of like empathy and just an understanding, of where we come from and how we overcome it. And that is our American dream, not how we're doing it. It's, saying how we overcome it, so for sure that.
There's been a lot of kingpins over time. I mean, there's kingpins now whose names, kind of ring big in the streets, but were either of you familiar with Big Meech before? I mean, even before, people started rapping about him and everything else. I grew up in Atlanta, so I've seen part of the BMF movement come through the strip clubs and come through the streets of Atlanta. So I was familiar with them way before the story, but like before you guys took on these characters, were y'all familiar with the story at all?
I mean, I was familiar with the story, but I think having got to shoot in Atlanta, I think I understood the cultural impact Big Meech and Southwest T had, especially in Atlanta. I definitely, I mean, you had celebrities, you had, local people in local communities that just highly respected them. And that were grateful for their presence, actually. And yeah, I think that's something that we made an attempt and tried to portray. And also, it's also a little bit of paying a bit of homage.
I know when we talk about these people, whether it's Real Rick Ross or Meech or Southwest T or anybody like that, they've also started like these other businesses that you never hear about, or they funded businesses that they hear about, whether it was to wash money or for legitimate dreams. Do you guys think that once we get into towards season 2 and keep expanding on the story, that the story will start showing like some of the stuff that they invested in and did? I mean, of course, Jeezy's probably like the most iconic of Meech's investments that ended up shining on the big stage. Do you think we'll see some of that when we start going into season 2?
I mean, I think so. I mean, why wouldn't they? I mean, there's so much that we have not yet, to be told yet. So I wouldn't think not of it. I think we would.
Yeah, I think that would be dope. And, it's like just showing all sides of it. It's like showing the point of the hustle, showing the point of the grind. It's like the grind isn't just to be out here doing whatever, it's to make a difference and impact for your family, your culture, the people you're around. So, they definitely had a big impact just all around. And I think it would be dope to show those sides too of what they were working so hard for.
What if Kato's right? And the streets ain't fucking with our 50 bags no more. Shit. Hey, B, what's the biggest flop house in East Coast? Shit, Pumpkin. She like the AF hunting of crack. Whenever she talked, them bass heads listen.
And Myles, like, how did you feel like rocking the high top fade and just getting into that look of?
Oh, it's crazy. I rocked the high top fade. I was 12 years old and it was 6 inches tall. So that was my first high top. So I was comfortable in it. When they put that toupee on, I was ready. I was B-Mickie.
I know every time he came on set, I'm like, let me get you right. Let me get you right.
I love the story. I mean, it's good to see you, Kofi, without the do-rag. I love the story. I've been able to see 7 episodes so far, but I can't wait to see the rest of the season finale and can't wait to see how the story expands in the next season. Thank you guys for putting on a good show and taking time to talk to me.
Thank you, man. God bless, bro. Thank you.